Okay, folks, this will be an interesting one. I don't know what it exactly is. See how we go with it. It's hot today, just a tad. Wearing my COVID mask outside there, and the heat is really quite punishing. I'm not ready to ditch the COVID mask, except of course when I'm at home or when I'm eating and that and drinking. But let's see how we go with this. This is it. Some kind of shredded plastic, maybe, I think, something. But yeah, I do wear my mask when I'm out. It's not just COVID that I fear I'm going to catch. I don't want to catch a cold or a flu, because I get very, very ill when I catch the flu especially, and I don't like being congested with my nose blocked up. I don't understand how people can tolerate colds and flu. I don't fucking have any tolerance to that sort of shit. It's going to make it a bit small. I'm going to leave it on 200. I'm going to move it in a bit. But yeah, I just can't tolerate coming down with the flu. It's so fucking hard to breathe, and you can't swallow, and I've got enough problems with swallowing and breathing problems and dry mouth as it is without a fucking flu. And I get on the bus and these people are always fucking coughing and sneezing and sniffling. I wish they'd wear a mask while they're sitting right next to me. I don't want to sit next to that shit. Unfortunately, I have to catch public transport in order to get to and from work, which a lot of people do. And it's a real pain. I just don't like it anymore. That looks really quite interesting, but it looks a bit boring. I do think we're going to maybe darken it further. But basically, I just can't tolerate getting sick, so I try to take precautions, and I find that wearing a mask just adds to the, helps to fortify me against getting sick. I just lost that, because that is in play, that disappears. I'm going to just try and make it a different colour for this. But basically, yeah, I really abhor the idea of catching a cold or a flu. So it's not just COVID I'm trying to protect against. And also when I do get COVID, strangely enough, I do get like the asymptomatic stuff. So I'm probably doing people a favour by leaving my mask on indoors. So, yeah. So it's being considerate as well to other people, as well as protecting myself from the lurgies that are around. It looks interesting. It looks a bit too, I don't know, maybe it's too blue. But basically, yeah, I'm just trying to protect myself from getting sick. And I catch up public transport at least 3 times a week, and usually when I'm on my way home, it's not unusual for it to be packed full of people, really crowded. So, I'm trying to just add extra protection to me while I'm travelling. That looks a bit better. It looks a bit, yeah, I don't know. But basically, yeah, I really get so annoyed at people when they're sick. I don't like them, folks. But, they obviously don't know that I've got a phobia for the cold and the flu. It is a phobia. I'm frightened of it, folks. very frightened. Because as I said, I catch it, I get really sick. And I really can't breathe and swallow properly. And it knocks me out. For 2 nights I can't properly get to sleep. And it's probably worse than that. Sometimes just the fact that I'm not able, I just get these niggly things that even without the cold and flu, I sometimes get a bit caught up in a swallowing loop, thinking I'm wanting to swallow and feeling like I can't swallow properly, and I can't sleep when that happens. And sometimes I get a dry mouth, and that just makes it worse. I have to breathe through my mouth, and it makes swallowing difficult. Sometimes I only get like 3 hours of sleep at night, if that, having all this insomnia. So I just really don't need any added sickness to make the problem potentially worse. So these are our mirrors. And I normally catch it in the summertime or the spring, which makes it even worse for me. I don't know why I catch it there and then. I have been vaccinated against it just before the end of spring, or about a month before the end of spring. So I'm hoping that'll fortify me against it if I do end up catching it, that it won't be as bad. Anyway, that's come up looking quite a treat. I think we can now call this demo quits.